Hello, everyone. It's Brian, the Tiny Crypto Blog. Welcome. Today is Friday, December 22nd, before the solstice holidays, this one being Christmas. Uh, let's just get right into it. So, price recap. What happened in prices this week? They went sideways. Next week, we'll find out. On the news front, things are relatively quiet. Small developments in legal proceedings that have been carrying since 2022. Nothing too heavy, nothing too intense. News of protocol issues, hacks, what have you, developments on the legal front, uh, the charade with Elizabeth Warren and whatnot goes forward. But otherwise, a quiet week. There was news going into Bitcoin this week with Bitcoin fees, block sizes, and things being built on top of it. This week, the Brains pool, formerly the Slush pool, had a block reward that was equal to roughly 13.67 Bitcoin, and that was due to miner fees, transaction fees. A lot of that was built on top of ordinals, which is the Bitcoin equivalent of NFT artwork for all the other chains. Ordinals is a protocol that sort of takes a snapshot of every single Satoshi, the subunits of Bitcoin, and lays down a ordinal or like a ordinal block, I guess you could think of it as, that corresponds to a given Satoshi that was at the time it was mined. And a lot of the transactions have been adding up, and it's gotten people talking as far as saying, well, this could be the solution or what things may look like once rewards from block rewards are no longer viable. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Block sizes, block sizes also with the increase in transactions and the amount of transactions, there's been concerns about not having enough block size, that the blocks be crowded out. And some people were saying that, well, we should have done the Bitcoin Cash in larger block sizes. And other people will argue you can't do that because if you have larger block sizes, the size of the overall blockchain ledger is going to be too large for the average Joe Schmo or Jose Schmo or Jin Schmo to be able to run this on a laptop, a computer, Raspberry Pi, which is a valid point. And I think, too, the pressures for block size will push, just as with Ethereum, the incentive will be there for cheaper means of executing some sort of transactions to create layer 2 solutions. So we're probably going to see more of those pop up because humans are pretty innovative. They can come up with some very creative ideas. So we'll see how that develops. And then things being built on top of it. Excuse me. I was going to make a note that for one of the protocols run on top of Bitcoin called Stacks, that's token 2, that apparently had some positive words by investor Tim Draper, and that caused a pump in the price. And I want to say there was some pump last year. Well, Stacks, if you're not familiar, is the platform. If you think back to Mayor Suarez of Miami, going back to 2021, 2022, early 2022, and it was the whole idea of creating Miami Coin as essentially an incentive token where if people do certain civic things, they can earn these tokens. That, the Miami coin, the New York City coin, I think there was a Memphis coin and a few other municipality incentive tokens, they were built on top of Stacks. A little side note, if you want to find something interesting, read into the tokenomics of how the city tokens and the stack tokens are mined. It's curious. So we'll see how this develops. We'll see where stacks goes. We'll see where the second layer protocols go as far as Bitcoin is concerned. And then take it into the commentary. Tokenization. So I've been seeing a lot more news articles popping up with the word tokenize. And I'm starting to get this feeling that what we're going to have in the 2017 upcycle, ICOs were the rage, initial coin offerings, where essentially you buy tokens in exchange for Ethereum. Well, we found out what a bust that was. In the last cycle, NFTs, specifically NFT artwork, was all the rage. We know about that. The Bored Ape Yacht Club, as well as several other lines of digital art, were all the rage that even Hollywood celebrities were getting in on. We saw where that went. And then I think the new irritant that's just going to be everywhere and bandied about like it is the next absolute greatest thing in the world that everyone needs to know about and be a part of is tokenization. I think a lot of people who understand and can recognize a fad are going to be rolling their eyes ceaselessly over everything being tokenized. I'm also seeing a lot of protocols where there was an article this week. I forget which chain it was where there was a bond issue. I forget which country it was. And it was done on a tokenized on a blockchain network. I just saw an article 4 days ago, Forbes. What is tokenization? And I'm just seeing it more and more. And I think that is going to be this cycle's big excitement. And also for the organizations and the people who run protocols, manage different protocols. That's going to be the big thing that everyone's going to be falling over each other to try and do. There'll also be a way to monetize digital assets and asset platforms. We can offer you tokenization services of that bond issue or this or that or whatever it is. I don't know if you've listened to today, it just dropped, Whitney Webb on a What Bitcoin Did interview with Peter McCormack. I think the title was The End of the World as We Know It. And if you've never listened to Whitney Webb, it's heavy listening because it's almost like listening to AJ in that you're hearing what end games are and potentialities, where people who are pursuing their own interests are trying to drive human affairs. And it basically, as Marty Bent puts it, it's the digital panopticon, where there's no private internet, where there is total surveillance, and you basically have the social credit score and the digital prison like you do in China. And tokenizing things was one of these pathways that would be pursued where everything in the real world gets tokenized. So we'll see how that unfolds. Taking a step back, as far as from a technology standpoint where this falls, it's been pointed out that, I don't know how well you know your histories, but if you go back to the growth of railroads in the United States, where that was probably the largest and fastest growing market, where the most money was at, railroads were kind of like a fad type of thing where everyone was falling over each other to get involved with railroads. What can we do? How can we build one? How can we invest? How can we earn money off of this? And then there was a huge, just like a crypto bear market, there was a huge, everything unwound, prices dropped. But the technologies, the innovations, that stayed. All the stupid money, all the bad bets, that got cleared out of the system. That got cleaned up. Similar to what happens when all the leverage and all the actors who make bad decisions, your Celsiuses, your BlockFis, your FTXs, etc., get wiped out. And it's the same with the concept like the ICOs and NFT artwork, where a new technology, a new innovation gets people excited. A lot of money rushes in, the thing falls apart, and the cycle starts anew. However, the technology itself still remains, and it was that initial excitement that helps get that technology into the public consciousness, into the mainstream psyche, helps it get a foothold in the human realm. So there's probably going to be plenty of stupid with the tokenization. And whatever you do not invest in anything that says you can make money off tokenization, because I'm going to say most people who would do that are going to get their asses handed to them. I've seen this too many times before. Some people will make out. You're going to have a lot of braggarts talking about how much money they made. All your Ty Lopez is talking about that Bitcoin thing. Shout out to you if you remember those. All the people talking about it, yeah, I got the latest and greatest, and with great exchange or great cryptos or great NFTs. It just repeats itself, where it's human behavior wearing a new costume. Same dance, different lyrics. So keep your eyes open and stay educated. And then I did want to throw in a double endorsement for watching the Whitney Webb interview, because it ties in with a video Charles Hoskinson did 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe, where he questioned, why are you here? If you are truly here for the freedom tech, then you need to stand up and fight for the freedom tech. If you want to change the world, you need to do things towards that end. And she says the same thing. If there was ever a time to be fighting for the freedom tech, to fight for how this technology, decentralized technology, can be utilized to create a new world, enhance the human condition, and completely shut out the digital panopticon and kill it in its tracks, now is that time. So 100%. If that's what you're in here for, then do it. Do something. Say something. Talk to your immediate circle of friends. If that's all you can do, then do it, because it's more than not doing it. And what was the other point I wanted to throw out there regarding that podcast? Oh, yeah. If you currently use any tools to download anything digital, whether it be an MP3 or like a YouTube to MP3 downloader, MP4, BitChute to MP4, whatever it is, downloading things from websites or whatnot, start thinking about building up an offline archive of the things that you would want to have, especially if we ever came into a situation where the internet became permissioned. It'd be just like WeChat in China. You want to use your phone to go on the internet, you need to show biometrics. You got to show your GD face and do a biometric scan in order to access the internet. Everything is tracked. Everything. And it's just like having a physical analog library. So get yourself a good 500 gigabyte flash drive. Start, get one for 30, $40 at today's prices. Start downloading things, start building up the digital library. Plus, it's helpful if you ever need it and the internet's down. You have it there. It's just like it's like third party risk, the law of ownership. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. So it gave me some food for thought because I've been thinking how it's been a back and forth. There's a lot of stuff on the internet that I've come across over the years that was unique and funny, but it never crossed my mind. Oh, I should download that. So it's definitely something that I'm going to start making it a practice of. Things I might need instructional videos on: cooking, car repair, handyman work around the house, starting to build up that library, maybe making a bookmark list on YouTube and then downloading the videos. So something to keep in mind, and watch the video. It's a lot of good food for thought. It's a lot of, you're taking in a lot of humanity and human condition in 1 hour, but that's okay because you can turn it off and then digest it. So you can follow Tiny Crypto Blog at tinycryptoblog.com and all the social media sites listed in the show notes. And with that, be well, everyone. Talk to you soon. We'll be coming to you next week. Be well.